What's up, guys? Jason Guyman here tonight, and tonight I've got a Q&A for you. That is our goal, and hopefully I will be able to keep streaming. It said I don't have the greatest connection here, and so we will find out. But my questions to you are: what is your questions? I'm actually going to talk a little bit about Google Business Profile. I know I have someone that has gotten it suspended, and I want to just talk about the things that can suspend your Google Business Profile. And yes, this might just be pressure washing, but this is an important part of making sure that your Google Business Profile is up and running and it is working properly. So that will be one of the questions I will be answering, but I love to have your all's questions. Whatever questions you all have will be it. Right now, I am in a hotel. I'm looking at some other things. I've got some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. I'm excited. Not going to say any much more than that right now, but I'm excited what's coming. And it's going to be awesome. And so it is just a great time where I'm at and what I'm going to be doing and helping you. I've been doing a lot of thinking and considerations, and I've been doing my Think and Grow Rich. And one of the things that came out of Think and Grow Rich is this year, my big goal is customer first. And for me, that's you. And my goal is how can I help you better in the end? And that's what I am focusing on, whether that's with selling Christmas lights, whether that is getting you faster shipping, whatever that might be, right? Whatever I might be able to help you to grow your business. And so my goal this year is customer first. And so, if I can answer any of your questions, I know I come on here twice a week for you all. I answer a lot of questions. And actually the question I'm going to bring up about Google Business Profile, right? It's one that I'm not making no money off of it. I'm just helping him get his Google Business Profile unsuspended. So I am going to talk a couple things of what will get your Google Business Profile suspended pretty quickly and how to get it unsuspended if we can. And sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. And if it doesn't, I actually have another guy that I recommend, Daryl. I don't know what his last name is. He's out of Canada, and he's had really good success getting them unsuspended too. So if I can't help you to getting unsuspended, I know people that can. And so that is my goal this year. My goal has always been help 1,000 people make $100,000 a year, and I've done that. And so my goal is how can I help you grow your business? And I know some people are always going to be, I've got my haters and whatever, but this is the deal, right? I've helped people get from 0 to 100,000. I've helped people go from 0 to 1,000,000. And I want to help you do the same. Whatever your goal might be, whatever your goals may be, is my goal to help you get there and how I can ever help you get to that spot. And so that is my goal in 2026. And so customer first, right? You put the customer first, everything else. I didn't say customer was right. I said customer first. And when you put the customer first, everything else down the line gets a lot better for you. And so that's where my goal is for you this year. So if you've got any questions, I know I've got this on the Christmas lights and pressure washing. Even if you got Christmas light questions, I'd love to answer your questions, pressure washing questions. Let's hear your questions. My book of the week is, actually I had a new book and I've been reading it a little bit. I'm still reading Think and Grow Rich quite a bit, but I do have a new book. It's not just, I know what it was because somebody didn't know this book and they put it in there, and it's The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. The Gap and the Gain. And the book's about 2 years old now, but it is a great book. I highly recommend this book. I have recommended this book in the past. It's about, look how far you come, not how far you missed the goal, right? A lot of times we look at, man, I only got to 150,000. I wanted to get to 200,000. But we didn't look to see, man, I've came from zero to $150,000. This is amazing. This is what I've learned. This is what have changed my life. This is how I've gotten time freedom. This is how I've gotten financial freedom. But we look at, well, we only do 50,000. I'm $50,000. And even in my mentorship calls, right? Dan Sullivan always talks about, every coaching call he always does is, what's your wins for the week? And so I do that even in mentorship. What's your wins for the week? Because a lot of times we forget that we have wins every week. We have wins every day. But we sit there and think about what we don't have. But look what we do have. And this is an important part in growing your business and being successful. And so that's why, when I'm on coaching calls, a lot of times, like, what has been your win this week? What has been your win today? That's some good questions to start thinking about, so that way we can start changing the way we believe of everything just sucks. No, you have wins. Yeah, this might not went the way you went, but how's that going to work for you tomorrow and the next day? So just some things to think about of where you are with that. And I see we got some people been on here. Been watching your vid for a while. You mentioned in previous videos that Invisalites is good. I was told to stay away from you, that you're bad news. I don't understand, as you seem a great guy. Yes, I have my haters. Is the only thing I can say. And I can tell you one thing, Wash and Light, I've helped thousands of people get to $100,000 a year. And whoever that hater was, so be them. I've got an idea who it is, and I would just say, be careful who you're listening to. If these people are negative, stay away from them. That's what I've learned. Stay away from negative people. That's not a good thing to do. But I've helped thousands of people make $100,000. I've helped probably 30 to 40 people make 7-figure businesses. So that's the thing that I can help you with and help you grow your business on. So that's what's up. We got F-bomb in the house. Haven't seen F-bomb in the house in a while. And here's the other thing on this here. I come on this thing. The people that are saying, watch what me is, I come on here every week to give value. That's my whole goal. How can I help you grow your business? My success is your success. The most excited I get is when I see other people win and succeed. That's what makes me excited. When I see people get when I have a guy that's calling me that's been in business 5 years and he's telling me he's getting a 6-figure job, I don't make a dime off of that. Like, literally, I don't make nothing off of that. I am excited. I am super stoked that for him. When I've got people calling me and saying, we did 7 figures, that gets me excited. That's what makes me do what I do, of come on here and help out people to stop thinking outside, right? My goal is, how can I help you change your mental state of how to change your mindset? Because I will tell you over and over and over, change your mindset, change your life. The reason why I push books like Think and Grow Rich, it literally is change your mindset, change your life. Because if you're around negative people, you're going to be negative, and that's my whole thing is how can I help people change your mindset to change your life? Because if you don't believe you can, you're right, you can't. But if you believe you can, you're right also. Think and Grow Rich talks about self-suggestion, right? You know what 5 times 5 is. How do you know what 5 times 5 is? Because for 12 years you were told what 5 times 5 was. So what are you told about your future? Have you ever told yourself about it? Well, start telling yourself about it. That's the Think and Grow Rich. That's the mindset shift. That's how you change what you believe and how that all works out. I am trying to be one of your first success stories, first year, 300 yard signs ordered. How can we talk further? So you can message me on Facebook is one way, and that's a good way to start. I also, if you want to do a Zoom call, I can do a Zoom call with you. If you join King of Pressure Wash, you can join Christmas Lights or Pressure Wash. The King of Pressure Wash is cheaper, and you get the Monday night calls, and those are gold. right? The gold. Monday night calls, Zoom calls. Every Monday night we do Zoom calls. There's usually 10 to 20 people in this Zoom call, and it's a way that you can ask any questions that you want, and then you can also hear what other people are doing that are succeeding. And I teach more on marketing, and it's about an hour and a half, 2 hour call every Monday night. Hi, I'm so glad to be back and grinding, feeling blessed. Thought I was going to lose a truck with a blown motor. A $10 fix. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hear you on that. Dan Sullivan is someone I enjoy learning from. I love listening to his books. I love listening to his podcast, the 10X podcast. It's a great podcast. If you're not listening to it, I'd highly recommend his podcast. I'd highly recommend his books. He's got several books, and every one of his books are great. I would definitely tell you to read his books. It is something that will help you grow better. I was told that you don't work for them no more, and and that they sued you. Oh, really? Where should I buy permanent lights? I only want Invisilights, as you have mentioned them in other vids in Texas. in Texas. Interesting. I'd like to know, if you had messaged me, who told you that is what I'd like to know. Would be great to know. And I can give you a little bit more information on any type of lights. I am ready to roll. It's awesome, Nathan. Would love to yard sign, but the ground has been frozen. I know it's finally rained, and so that's what I was telling my wife this morning. Today is the first day that it has rained, and since all this snow and frozen stuff has gone. Let's go. I love Christmas lights. Wash light. He was talking about CLC and Mendeleon lights. So, if you've got questions, please put them in the comments. My first question that I have, and I'm kind of going to go over a little bit of Google Business Profile. So, a guy had messaged me that his Google Business Profile has gotten suspended. And how do I get it unsuspended? And so it is definitely something that we need to think about why they get suspended. And one of the biggest reasons why they get suspended is if your name is not the name of your business. So sometimes we try to get around, and we know that if we put pressure washing services, Christmas lights in the name of the business, instead of, I'm going to use an example because he did get his suspended, was Holiday Accents. So Holiday Accents went and put Holiday Christmas Accents or Holiday Accents Christmas lights, and it got suspended because his business name is Holiday Accents. Now, there is also a person that was pressure washing. So I'm going to tell you how I used to, is my business name was called ProServe Group. I did a DBA doing business as Pressure Wash Cincinnati and Christmas Light Cincinnati. Pressure Wash Cincinnati still ranks, but the business isn't there. And so sometimes you can get away with DBAs, but in today's world, it's really hard to get away with a DBA. If you're going to get away with a DBA, you better have a bank account that says that. You better have a lot of stuff that says what you can do to be able to get past that. So whatever your EIN number is, whatever all of your documents are, you want to make sure that it is what it is. Another thing that can suspend your business, and this is what I see a lot of times people getting suspended on, is they will have their address as their home address. And if you have your home as your home address and you're not doing it as a service-based business, you are more likely to get suspended. Not saying that you will exactly get suspended, but it definitely is one thing that can get you suspended pretty quickly. So, and here's the other thing about this. There are marketing people out there that are playing dirty that if they see that your name is not the name of your business, they will get you suspended. Or if they see that you're a residential house, they can get you suspended. And so this is the importance of making sure that you're following the guidelines to a T. So if you have your business as not as a service-based business and you actually have it at an address, you better make sure that that address is a commercial address. And that is about the only way in 2026 that you are going to get away with it being a commercial and not getting suspended the other way. So those are the things that can get you suspended pretty quickly. And so this is something that I will say that as you got to be careful, you definitely need to make sure that you are not going after it, and be careful of what you're doing to get your Google business suspended. If you get suspended, you are going to have to go through. One thing I heard, if it gets suspended, immediately do an appeal, figure out what's wrong, and then do the appeal, or it will be harder to fix the suspension. Now, there is different sections of this suspension. Some of the suspension can get pretty harsh, and you may not get it back. But if you can figure out what caused that suspension, this is what will help you to be able to get that suspension undone. And so you will have to go through the appeals process of getting it. And a lot of times you might have to do, you need to show all the paperwork, and then you're going to have to do a video verification. You're going to have to like show all the paperwork of here's my EIN, here's my thing through the state, here is my bank account, here is everything you need to show that I'm a business, because that's what you're having to do is you're having to show that you are a legit business. And so it is important that you make sure that you go through this and to get your business Google business profile unsuspended at the time. Again, there's a guy on TikTok that goes over a lot of these Google business profiles. His name's Daryl. I don't know what he is. Last name is. He's out of shoot, where is he out of? Out of Canada. I know Tristan. Tristan got his suspended last year. And so I think he ended up having to pay like $250 or $500 to help him get it unsuspended, but he was able to get it unsuspended for him. And so these are the critical things to make sure that you are getting this thing and not getting suspended. So that is definitely something that I would highly recommend for you to do if you get your Google business profile suspended. So just a heads up, be careful on your photos that you're not putting a lot of photos, and don't be putting watermarks of your logo on it. That can get it suspended. If your phone number's plastered all over it, that can get it suspended. Or it'll definitely start putting strikes against you. Even, putting your vehicle and it's all logoed up is good, but sometimes if it got a big phone number on it, it can hurt you in the end. So just, you gotta play the game a little bit, and you gotta, don't be putting your watermark down at the bottom, because that will not get through. And you do it enough, eventually Google's like, this ain't working for you. So you just got to make sure that you are being careful in what you're doing with your Google business profile to make sure that it's not going to get suspended. Because even in 2026, your Google business profile can make you a lot of money. Even when we start moving over to AI, it's still going to be well for you to make sure that you are keeping up with that for sure. Let's see. Let's go Christmas lights. So what other Christmas or signs do you have? What other questions do you have? Pressure wash, Christmas, whatever it might be. Yep, more rain this on the way all week. Kentucky Wash Pros got his back in a week, so they are getting a lot better. And the biggest thing is making sure that you are working on getting it back, making sure that you are fixing what is wrong, so that way you can get it back. I know a guy that had over 500 reviews. This was about 2022, I think it was, 2022, 2023. He had over 500 reviews and it got suspended. And it cost him a lot of money because it took almost 2 months to get it back up. Bobby Walker, who that was. And so, you just got to be careful with what you're changing on that Google business profile. How do you feel about doing presentations at realtor companies at a monthly meeting to get agents as clients? I personally am not a big fan of realtors. Yes, they can bring you money. They usually want the cheapest person. They want cheap, right? They want to get paid 6%, but they want to pay cheap. Now, here's the thing. You can find good realtors, right? You can find really good realtors that make people clean their houses, make people do different things, and those are it. So when I had my business, I had about 4 really good realtors that fed me a lot of work because they knew that they forced their clients to clean the house. They forced them to do different things. And so those were the 4 out of a lot of people I knew. And even some of my personal friends that are realtors, they didn't even use me. Now, here's what I would say about that. I would go and do either business meetings of somewhere like a BNI. If you don't want to do BNI, the apartment association can make you a lot of money. If you have an apartment association in your area, I would focus my time in going and doing those meetings versus I would doing realtors. And that's just my opinion overall. You can't tell, there maybe out of all the people I've helped, you might get 1 or 2 people that have done really good with realtors, but it's really hard for them to get in there and get it done. One thing I heard, if it gets suspended, do it immediately. Google suspended your GMB. If you change your business name, it's a pain in the butt. Yes, it is. If you move, there's a likelihood of it getting suspended. There's a lot of things that can cause it to get suspended, so you just kind of got to be careful. Nathan put, presentation at realtors won't work. Individually networking will, right? You got to build that relationship. And that's one thing I will say on 2026 is I feel like networking is going to be the key to growing this business in 2026. Networking is definitely key. You get into the right networks, it's your net worth, right? I've got people that are joining different clubs, different things that are, high dollar, and it is helping them grow their business tremendously. And so it is definitely something that I would highly recommend for you to do is networking. I know sometimes it's hard, or it can be hard. In the past, it can be hard for you, but it is important that you network. Networking is key. Like, you get in with the right people in the right network, and the people know people, it can be amazing what you can do in your business. It's just awesome. And networking is one of those things, it's a muscle, right? It can be hard in the beginning because you're not used to talking to people. And one of the things I would tell you is if you do networking, don't go in with the mindset that you're going to sell them on the first thing. That's like going on a date and acting like you're just, as soon as you open the door, you give them a big French kiss on the first date. It's probably not going to go very well for you. And it's the same thing with networking. Build that relationship with them. One of my guys in mentorship last week closed a $40,000 job at apartment association. You know how he did it? He went there with the mindset of, I want to know this person. He sat there for an hour and talked about whatever. He didn't even bring up the bid. She brought up the bid first after talking for almost an hour. That's how that worked, right? Because then she's like, I just know you and it's great and blah, 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 blah. And what I mean by a muscle is it's going to be uncomfortable, right? But you can do uncomfortable things. And the more you do it, the less likely it is uncomfortable. And so that's why networking is so important, and building that network and start working that muscle of, don't go in knocking on doors thinking that I'm going to sell this person in some apartment complexes. Build that relationship, and that will go a lot farther in the end. I went through it. I set up a virtual office and found out that Google doesn't allow it. I had to do my video verification. Yes, Google does not allow um, the virtual offices. Now, what you can do is sometimes you can go rent a little office space pretty cheap, and it's worth it that way. And here's the other thing with Google Business Profile. One of the big determining factors of if you're going to show up for a Google Business Profile is your proximity to where you are. So if your area that you want to show up in is 20 miles away, the likelihood of you showing up there is going to be goose egg, because you got to kind of start then that 5 mile and then work out to the 10 mile and then work out from there, right? You start here and you start working out. Now, that's why when you start looking at where to rent an office at or something, you really want to know where your honey hole is. So for me, my honey hole was Northeast Cincinnati. That's where most of my clients was. And that's where my Google Business Profile was and still is. And I haven't touched that Google Business Profile in over, this is 2026. I sold in 2020 or in 2018. I haven't touched it since then. Neither have they. But that Google Business Profile still ranks really, really well. Like when you look at the impressions on it, in all the other ones that I have access to, there ain't hardly any that do as well as that one. It's because, I've got the reviews on it, and even if those reviews aren't new, it's still showing up. It's still working even after all of these years. How would you contact them? In person, email, phone for all? Yeah, so there is, when it gets suspended, there is a button that you can reinstate. If you look up Google Business Profile reinstate, it'll probably take you there too. And that's what you gotta go through. There's really no way of talking to them to be up. There's nobody that you can just talk to and it just works. And it's a prime example of don't put all your eggs in one basket marketing wise, right? We want to do different baskets. That's why, I know people hate on me, but that's why I push yard signs, right? If you use yard signs and then you want to do Google ads, fine. But don't just do Google ads and quit doing yard signs and throw them away. Do different things. That's why we want to do yard signs. That's why we want to do social media. That's why we want to do our 5 rounds or 10 rounds. That's why we want to do our LinkedIn. That's why we want to do Google ads. That's why we might want to do Facebook ads, whatever that might be, right? We don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. Just sent our first landscape lighting quote, 86 lights, 55 core drills, $31,000. Wow, that's awesome. Just so if you know, we are having a permanent light and landscape lighting class coming up this weekend. We're going to have Michael Zuzak there doing landscape lighting. We are going to teach core drilling and all of that cool stuff. And this is how to start a landscape lighting business. And you can make a lot of really good money. So just something to think about if you want to do it. The key to realtors is making them look good to their customers. Jason, got my truck wrapped and the new trailer is on the way. Taking action in 2026. Congratulations, Charlie. That's awesome. Realtors try and waste my time getting a deck repair quotes as a negotiation tactic in buying and selling, right? They want you to fix it for nothing. Nathan, and that's not the cleaning. It's saying, oh man, Matt is good. He takes care of everyone. Christmas lights is all about relationships. Yep. Hey, my blood boils every time I get in front of people. But right, the more you do it, the better and easier it gets. And you've been doing it for a couple years now. And so I know, and it's the butterflies, right? You get all, it's like, oh, what, and it's how do we change that mindset of fear, right? How do we change the mindset of, I'm just going here to talk to this person? over the years, has anybody ever ate you or bit you or cussed at you? You might have got one out of the years, but you just keep doing it, right? And the more you do it, the more you get to it. Nathan, why does your blood boil? I just get to know them on a personal level and then genuinely want to help them, right? It's all about changing your mindset of, I am not here to sell pressure washing. I am here to help them in whatever they might need. Whether they need Christmas lights, whether they need pressure washing, and they might not even know they need it yet. But I'm here to help them know that they need it. That's the difference of a mindset. Fourth year, going for $100,000 in washing alone. Awesome. So, Anthony, what are you going to do to be able to get the leads to get to 100,000? What's your average ticket? How many jobs do you need? What's your close rate? What do you need to do to get to $100,000? I'm going to hit on this because this is important, right? If we want to get to $100,000 in pressure washing, what's your average ticket? So let's say your average ticket is $500. We want our average ticket higher because it means we have to do less jobs. So if our average ticket is $500, right? That means we need to do 200 jobs to be able to get to $100,000. So how many leads do we need to get to be able to get to 200 leads, right? So let's say your close rate is 50%. If your close rate's 50%, that means you need to get 400 leads to get there. How do we get 400 leads? How much are you willing to spend in marketing, right? Because we need to get 400 leads to be able to get to $100,000. Now, if we get our average ticket up to $1,000, then we only need 100 jobs. So if we only need 100 jobs, and let's say our close rate is 30%, we still need 400 leads, right? So if we got to get 400 leads, we raise our prices. This is how we get there. Now, if we don't, let's go back to the $500 average ticket. How do we get there? So if I'm willing to spend $10,000 in marketing, that means I can spend $10,000, right? That's 10% of $100,000. You should be investing in your business 10% at least, right? If you want to make it to $1 million, you're spending $100,000. But to get to $100,000, we're going to 10%. Now, what would I do to get 10%? I'd buy 1,000 yard signs. That's $3,000. That right there would probably get you out. If not, it would be real close. But if not, you don't want to do the yard sign game, that's fine. 200 yard signs a month is what I would tell you to do to get there. If you don't want to do that, then that's fine. Then we either got to do Google ads, we got to do Facebook ads. We got to do something to get this phone to ring. If you just think that you just do great work and people are going to tell you, you're probably not going to get to $100,000. Now, if you've been in business 20 years, and that's a different story, but you haven't. So that's what I would do. Then out of those jobs, we're going to do a 5 around or a 10 around on every house we go to and every commercial job we go to. Every job we do, we're going to do a 5 around, no matter what. Unless they're 5 miles away from houses, then we might not, but we're going to do 5 arounds. So that's another lead form that's going to come getting us leads. I would do that every day. The other thing I'm working on is how do I get a 5-star review out of 50% of your people? So every other job you go to, how do I get them a 5-star review? And because what's going to happen is you're not going to get to $100,000 just off of one thing. We're doing our 5 arounds. We're getting our reviews. We are putting yard signs out. We're putting yard signs in the customer's yard. We're putting yard signs out at the end of the subdivision. We are doing this to be able to drive over $100,000. And the biggest thing we're going to do is we're going to be consistent and we're going to be relentless. We're going to do it every day. No matter what, we are doing 5 around. Jason Hefner, I never forget, we went to Florida. I rode down to, we were in Florida, and I went and did 3 jobs with him that day. And the last day, I was tired and wore out, and so was he. And it was hot. Yes, it was hot in January down there. And you know what he did? He went and did that 5 around, because that's what he does. And he was tired. He didn't want to do it, but he did it anyway. He still does 5 rounds to this day, even if it's a commercial building. He went to a big commercial job and he went and did 5 around at the down there around those buildings. So no matter what, you got to be relentless to be able to hit this $100,000. That's what you got to do to be able to get there. And the other thing too is probably raise your prices. And I know that feels weird, and I know that feels whatever, but if you're not offering packages of $1,000 to $1,500, you're never going to get an average ticket of that. So that's why we got to do that $1,000, $2,000 packages, so we can get a $1,000 average ticket. And when you get a $1,000 average ticket, your close rate probably ain't going to be high. Like, people that I know that have $1,000 average ticket are at least 30 to 50%. I can show you people doing 1.2 million, 1.3 million, and guess what? Their close rate is 30%. It's like 31, 32%. Jeremy, Hefner that I was talking about, 32, 35%, right in that area. DJ, 32 to 35%. Guess what? Yeah, that's not very high, but guess what? Their average ticket's over $1,000, and that's what makes it a lot better. It's cause I get nervous every time. Blood pumps, not boil. But what do we need to do to tell ourselves, right? Back to, we need to speak to ourselves. They ain't going to eat me. They're not going to bite you. They're not going to punch you. Why are you getting, they put on the pants the same way you do. They put on the shirt the same way you do. They're just a human. Go talk to them. Instead of changing your mindset that I need to go speak to them, I'm going to make them and meet my friend. How can I talk to them like they're my friend? That's what you need to start looking at it differently. And you know how you get to do this more? When you're at Starbucks, you're talking to people. When you're at McDonald's getting your chicken nuggets, you're talking to people. When you're at Home Depot getting stuff, you're talking to people. You just start building that muscle, and it gets easier as you do it. My highest customer avatar in my area is only $100,000. What's a good price to charge for house, roof, and driveway cleaning? I mean, the house, I'm going to be at 25 to 30 cents a square foot. The roof, I'm going to be at 40 to 50 cents a square foot. Driveway cleaning, I'm going to be at 25 to 30 cents a square foot. That's where I'm going to be at. I am way better about it now, but sometimes I just get nervous and forget everything I was going to say. And I get that, right? I understand that 100%. Like, I know this is probably weird for people that know me, that I can talk to anybody now, but when I first started, you got to think about it. I was homeschooled for 12 years or 10 years, from 2nd grade on. I was homeschooled, so I never seen nobody there. I went to college. I did meet some people, but I was the smart kid I got stuff done, and actually I struggled the first 2 semesters. I got a C and a D, and then I got all straight A's from there, and everybody cheated off of me. And then at the very end, I got an F in government, because I didn't care about government. I got an F in it, so I had to take that class over again. So have I failed a thing? Yes, but you know what? You can overcome it. So I had to drive up 2 hours every Tuesday and Thursday night to be able to get my degree, is what I ended up having to do. So it's just one of those things that you just got to go out there and do it. And so one of the things that I did, I was a mechanic, so I worked by myself a lot. I was a traveling mechanic, so I worked by myself a lot. I went to be at the firehouse. You got your 3 or 4 guys there, and that's all you have there. And so one of the things I did is that's why I joined BNI, because that was the thing that helped me start networking, start building that muscle, and get out of my shell. I'd like to know who that installer was. 2,000 yard signs a month. Ramping up my online marketing. The only 2,000 yard signs a month. That would definitely, or 200, sorry, 200 yard signs a month. Ramping up my online marketing. The only thing I struggle with is getting my GMB to rank higher. I have hundreds of picks over 65-star reviews, and I updated yet. Just really try to get your 5-star reviews. You know, get over 100 would be your goal. How do you get to 100 5-star reviews? What's the best permanent light system? Um, I don't know. I've got different opinions about different ones. When is the training for that? My training, this one is coming up, is this weekend. This upcoming next weekend will be the training, is what that will be. I want to get a bigger ticket by offering window cleaning, but not sure how to price my window cleaning in the Bundies. So one of the things I would do here is that would be exterior window cleaning. If you do interior, that's a whole different ball game. If you want to do that, typically you can do it a couple ways. The easy way to do it is just charge 11 or 12, 13 cents a square foot of whatever the house is. So if you're bidding the house at 25 cents for house wash, you do 10, 11, or 11, 12 cents for there, but with a minimum of $200. So that way, if they're only at a 1,500 square foot house, it's still $200 to do it. For a 1,500 square foot house, it literally takes you about 20 minutes to do it with a water fed pole. It's very fast. It's very simple. It's very easy. If it's French panes, it's very hard. It sucks. Don't do them. Charge lots of them. It'd be like 30 cents a square foot for French panes because they suck. But that's how you can do that. Mr. Tiger Blast. What would the ideal door hanger look like to attract customers from door knocking or in 5-arounds? The biggest thing is have one service on it, right? Don't try to put too much on it, because you got to remember, it's a lot like Facebook, right? You're scrolling. You got to catch it. Here, you got to catch it from the door to the garbage can. You got to catch their attention from the door to the garbage can. So you got to make sure that it has a good picture on it. You have to make sure that it's easy to read. And if you want to put something on there, you know, I know sometimes people will be like, hey, I washed your neighbor's house or something along those lines. You just kind of got to play with it just to see what's going on. Hey, I still do it. I'm just complaining. Just shut up and do it then. I got a pump on a pressure washer that doesn't have any flow. It's blocked up in there somewhere. Is it toast? I've never rebuilt a pump. Here's, as a mechanic, me, literally a mechanic, used to work on fire trucks, went to school for it. I never had luck rebuilding a pump. I put new seals in them. I put the new ceramic things in them. And as much as you mess around with it, just buy a new pump. That's the easiest way to do it. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but you're going to spend 30, 40 bucks, 50 bucks for the seal kit, and you're going to spend a couple hours tearing it apart. There's a special tool to actually put the seals in. If you don't have the right tool, you will screw up the seals, and then it don't work. I've never had luck resealing a pump. I've learned that it was just easier to, because here's the thing, even if you try to reseal it and it don't work, and then you're on a job and it breaks down, it costs you a lot more money than just to replace the pump. So that's my personal opinion. That's what I've done. I just never had luck resealing the pump personally. So that's what I would do. I've done virtually everything you've mentioned about ranking higher, yet it won't move. Any other suggestions? One of the things I would say is how far are you away from your service area? And then the other thing too is it's going to kind of answer this question right here. Are you a fan of SEO on a website? Do you have a website that you have service areas that shows what it is, and what does your website look like, right? Does your website show that? So I'm going to use, for instance, Cincinnati, because it's a circle and Cincinnati's in the middle. Northern Kentucky's down here. Indiana's over here. I was down here and I couldn't rank in Cincinnati for nothing. I moved my business up here and I was able to start ranking it. So I didn't move my business up there for that. The reason why I moved it up there is because in Kentucky it's really hard to get workers' comp, and in Ohio it's part of the state, so it's easier to get workers' comp. That's why I moved it up there, but it actually worked for me better with the workers' comp, or with my Google business profile too. And so, yes, I am a fan of SEO on a website. Right now, local pages are working really well, and answering questions, right? The book They Ask You Answer also does very well, and also videos do very well too. So those are the things I would say. I would probably want to look at your Google business profile and see what the problem of it is. And see kind of like where you are. And if you are as a service-based business, typically they don't rank as good as a regular business. In my personal opinion, that's what I've found. So that's kind of where you get into. And another thing that can screw up your Google business profile too. So like I've been working on a Google business profile for one of the guys that I do his SEO stuff for. And he was ranking, his average was like 16. And now he's down to like 3 and 4, his average. And so that's what I was able to do. But again, you can see that it's like right around the shop and it works its way out. Storm windows, yes, those also suck. Best online retailer for equipment in Texas. I don't know. I mean, I know a couple of them. I don't know. I don't know them by personal. But you can buy from anywhere, and depending on what you're looking for, there's going to be different. And here's my thing: I don't always buy from the cheapest person. Like, I want someone that is going to answer their phone, answer questions for me. And so one of the people that I always bought from and I always pushed, and he don't pay me nothing to say it, but is Russ out at Southside Equipment in Louisville, Kentucky. Because even if I called him and I'd be like, "Hey Russ, what's going on?" He'd be like, "Yeah, you need to do this." I didn't buy nothing, but when I did buy stuff, I would always buy from him. There is Midwest. They're a little bit high, but again, they have really good valves. They have really good stuff. Another person that I would recommend, he's out in Oregon, is Tim with Expert Power Wash. He will help you out a bunch too. He's got a lot of videos on stuff. I know he's been shipping all over the country. They're really great people. And again, I don't have no affiliation with them. I've done a class out there about 2 or 3 years ago. Great guy, great wife, great kids, and they do really good work. They've been growing a bunch. He's a really cool dude. That would be my other thing too. Seal kits are $200 to $300 now. Wow. Yeah, see, I've been out of the game on them. I never bought them before. I bought one set one time, and that was probably 2014, and that was like done. Actually, I done it twice, and that's when I was like, this is stupid. At this point, my pumps are too hard to get to. Yeah, especially if they're in a skid, they're really hard to get to. I have people with less reviews and pictures ranking higher for some reason. I would say I would want to know like where they located at, what's your target market, all that kind of stuff. I would get GMB everywhere and get a site for local ranking, local Falcon, or hire someone to do it like Jason. Let's go, Jason. Goal of $350,000 this year, pressure washing alone. So pumped for this season. Let's go, Lakeside Exterior. Who is that? I'm excited for you. That makes me excited. Let's go. Trudy's another one that will treat you right and get you what you need. I agree with that. Manatee Pressure Washing, I've had great success with their website. Is easy. Lots of inventory. Manatee sells to a lot of other places, so yes, and any of these guys. Any options on Southeast soft wash systems? Seems like either love or hate them. Here's my thing about, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not saying anything about anybody, nothing like that. I will say this, right? Customer service is important to me. And if you watch videos, you tell me what customer service is there. So that's all I'm going to say about that, right? Because here's the thing. If you need something, are they going to be there to help you? That's the question. And that's my goal. That's my thing this year is customer first, right? I said that at the beginning of this. My goal is customer first. How can I help you do that? And I'm not going to say it, but there's one, right? Customer service is important. And so customer first. It's just like these guys here. I don't need to answer any of these guys' questions, but I'm answering these guys' questions for y'all. I'm literally here helping you get to grow your business. Lakeside exterior, right? $350,000. What can I do to help you get there, right? What can Jason, do to help you get there? I want to help you get there. That's an exciting thing. I've sat here on this call for 10 minutes talking to Anthony and helping him get there, right? Whether he takes the action to get there, that's not my problem, right? That's your problem. You have to take the action, right? Me talking about Nathan and talking about going and knocking on doors and talking to people and, right? I'm your cheerleader at this point. I will cheer you on all day long. I will want you to be successful. I want you to be successful. I don't want you to fail. I believe you can do it. It's a matter of, are you going to do it or are you going to hope it's going to get done? Because I'll tell you right now, you don't hope to get to $350,000 and you'll never get there on hope, because hope is not an action. Hope is nothing. As John Maxwell says, take the E off and you can hop to 350,000, but you're not going to hope to get there at all. So hoping ain't going to get you to grow your business. I can give you the line to help you and I'll be your cheerleader to get you there. And I know what gets people there. I've coached several people, hundreds of people to get there. I've gotten there myself. I know what it takes to get there. It takes hard work. It takes sweat. It takes things that you can get there. But you can't just assume that, man, that didn't work for me. Well, why didn't it work for you? What did you try? What didn't it work? I love when people be like, well, I don't work. I done tried it. Okay, what didn't work about it? Well, it just didn't work. Well, how do you know it didn't work? How many times did you put it out? Right? It's like EDDM. And every door direct mail, I don't want to just say EDDM because some of you don't know what EDDM, right? Every door direct mail, right? Some people have great success with it, but they've tested it and they've tested it to see what works. I'll tell you right now what don't work for EDDM. You know how I know? Because I did it. I didn't listen to what other people told me to do. People always told me, you got to do 3 to 4 mailers. I sent out 10,000 mailers in one big group, and guess what? It didn't work. And you know what I said? It didn't work. Well, did you send them out? Did you send 3,000 to 3 different times? Well, no, that's dumb. Well, that's why it didn't work, right? If I'd have sent out 10,000 3, 4 times, that would have probably worked, but I didn't. So that's what you have to think about. You guys are funny. I don't have much as far as media. I have 3 45-second videos for residential, 1 commercial. Been uploading them every day on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. They used to be good. Rimco Zealous option. That I don't know. If you aren't happy, stupid, buzz off. I have personal experience. Jason, you helped me a ton over the year. Just did $200,000 last year alone. Spent all winter making systems and hiring people, the right people. You and David Morrell have been a huge help. On my business page, Devin up here in Southwest Michigan. Awesome. Hey, keep me up to date. And again, if you need anything else, don't be afraid to message me. I love helping you, man. It's awesome. So your goal's only $100,000 more than last year? Come on now, you can do better than that. Let's raise that goal up. Let's double that goal. Let's go for 400,000. You can do 400,000. If you can do 200, why can't you do 400? Let's go. You do Christmas lights, we can do $100,000 in Christmas lights alone, let alone pressure washing. That puts you at $400,000. Let's go. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Let's get it done. What are you waiting on? Write that bad boy down. Write it down on a piece of paper on a wall, $400,000, because Jason said so. And when you get there, you can give me 10% of that last $100,000 because I told you to get there. But no, seriously, that's if you did $200,000, why not raise your goal? Let's raise it. Let's go more. You can do it. Here's the thing. Here's what I love helping people do. I love helping people think bigger than what they can. Right? Let's put a BHAG goal. Big, hairy, audacious goal. Because I don't want you to only shoot for 100,000, because when you get to that, then you'll just quit. But let's shoot for 400,000. Because what's the worst that happen? You get to 320 and you only make 320. So go for it. Let's go. What the heck? What's he saying? What the heck are we talking about here? I'm lost. I'm talking about everything. Pressure washing, Christmas lights, Google business profile, getting to $400,000 instead of $300,000. That's what we're talking about. You're not missing anything, Daniel. Pressure washing chatter sucks. Christmas lights, let's go. Right? Let's go Christmas lights. Daniel's going to get to 3 million this year. See, I'm going to just speak it into existence. I can hear him now. You're crazy. That would be, if he made it to $3 million, that would be crazy. But you never know. You never know what might happen. I haven't done Facebook Reels. Am I missing out? What's better? With you doing decks, that might not be a bad option, because you could do the decks because you have such great transformation of a deck, and you are in the transformation business, and a lot of times people can't see what a crappy deck looks like versus what an amazing deck looks like. And so the other good thing with Reels is then you can put it on TikTok, you can put it on YouTube Shorts, you can put them on LinkedIn, you can put them everywhere. Daniel, you don't wash, just lights. That's all he does. Your plans change big. Your plans change when you go big, right? 100%. We'll cover 400 all in with lights. Well, let's go 500 then. I didn't know. Actually, I did know you did lights. Let's go 500,000. Let's go, Devin. Let's go. Let's go $500,000. $500,000. You can do it. Just write it down. Write it down. I'm going to do 500. Just put February 15th. Jason Guyman said I'm going to do $500,000. I got faith in it. What are you going to do to get there? What type of marketing are you going to get to $500,000? Let's go. All right. My duck's foot just fell off. Well, that's bad news. That ain't good. But with that, seriously, let's take action this year, guys. What can I help you? Customer first. How can I help you? Let me know. What can I do to help you? You can message me at Jason on Facebook. That's probably, if you want me to answer you back, the easiest and quickest is how I will answer you back. If you've got Christmas light questions, if you need to order large sums of Christmas lights, I can do some amazing pricing this year for you. You can call me, text me, email me, 855. I don't even know what the number is because I haven't said it in a while. Let me look it up here real quick. It is 855. It's pretty bad when you forget your own number. 855-619-5483. 855-619-5483. I'm carrying different lights that you can have. If you need opticore, if you need Minion, whatever you need, tough bulbs, I can get them for you. And just let me know. And if you want to order a bunch, let me know. I can get it for you. And again, I'm here to help you in any way I can. And so it is definitely what you need to do. So that's whatever you need from me. You can give me a call. You can text me on that number. I will pick up and answer. So if you need help, let me know. Oh, you know what? I'm not very smart tonight. My brain is not working. Here's my phone number. If you want to know when I go live on Christmas lights, you can text the word light, L-I-T-E, at 855-619-5483. If you want to know when I go live on King of Pressure Wash, you can text the word King, K-I-N-G, to 859-696-1101. You sent me your GMB? Okay, I'll look at it here after I jump off here. Laugh out loud. It's crazy and sad. Thanks for all the information and all the help you give us. Well, no problem. Have a great night. Where else are you streaming? Facebook. I stream on Facebook, YouTube, on my 2 YouTube channels, on King of Pressure Wash, and my Christmas light channel. So I stream on 3 different things. I actually stream on LinkedIn too. So I have streams a little bit everywhere. So that's where all my streams are. So other than that, I hope you all have an amazing week this week. Go take action. Start calling people, start texting people, start whatever your old list of customers, and you'll be surprised you can start getting your March booked out. I know several people that have halfway March booked out or March booked out because they've already started texting all their past customers. If anybody hasn't closed a bid, start texting them. You'll be surprised what you can get. And so with that, have an amazing night, and we'll see you all later.